Good afternoon.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
On behalf of Department of Commerce, I have great pleasure and privilege to welcome our Honorable Dean, Faculty of Management, Honorable Special Officer, Alayappa University, Honorable Director, Alayappa Institute of Management, Professor Dr. Rajmohan sir, to this special session on use of data in social science research today afternoon. I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I would like to welcome our valuable participants on second day of ICSR sponsored program. I welcome you all. Please, sir. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Esteemed member of syndicate, Dr. Gurumurthy, respected professor, Dr. Vinayamurthy, participant from various colleges, very good afternoon to all. It gives immense pleasure to share some of the thought I have. I see today we wanted to share something on data. Actually, I wanted to say much on primary data alone. Secondary data is highly viable, and remember there are two types of data, primary and secondary data. Primary data, even secondary data is concerned, people are doing much on stock market. And stock market is concerned, we are assessing the volatility by using Arch-Koch model, and stationarity we are finding out, and many things are there with regard to stock market, and you can have. I don't want to say on that area. Even accounting side also, especially whether the balance sheet based on balance sheet we can do wonder. Remember that suppose if it is annual account, we can use our own popular ratios. All ratios we can use it. By using ratios, we can have a model like actually we can have the first one factor analysis. We can reduce the data and which are the ratios dominate more, that we can find it out by using ratios. And followed by that, we can have transitional changes. We have movement and see whether it is protection or not, or whether it is even deposits, especially with regard to bank, how it changed, that we can have by using some model we have. Through that we can find even when you suppose your work is on NPS, we have a model. RBI gave the idea, and even again by using all the ratios, especially with regard to NPS, we have ratios. We can use it and we can frame a model. Through the model, we can say that where the banks stand, whether it is in good position or not a good position, something like this we can find out. And now I wanted to move on to primary data alone. Secondary data, these are the things you can remember, even especially if it is production or sales, we are having all whether it is growth rate, we are finding out annual growth rate, common growth rate, or linear growth rate, that are popular with us because we have done a lot of work on that. Now I wanted to share something on primary data alone. With regard to primary data, we are using parametric test as well as non-parametric test. Parametric test, I can say simply, parametric test is concerned, we have we require a lot of assumption, but non-parametric test doesn't require any kind of assumption. Just like that we can proceed. That is the significance of non-parametric test. You may pose question regarding parametric. Parametric is concerned, anything when we use mean median mode, that becomes parametric. Even when you take, you can pose question like this, whether ANOVA is parametric. Yeah, there we are using even ANOVA because we are using mean, and anything you have mean median mode, all the time we are using it. Any even regression, correlation, whatever may be the case, we are using mean. When we use mean, it is parametric test. And if you are not using mean and it becomes non-parametric test, non-parametric test actually doesn't require any kind of assumption. Just like that we can use. But parametric is concerned, we require assumption and data should be normal, many things we have to test. And for that, when you wanted to use parametric test, you should be very careful, unless otherwise actually it's a problem. But we are not bothering because social research is concerned, it is an attempt for that, for which people used to say that see, if it is even on sampling side, if it is convenient sampling and we should not use some kind of tool, something like this. Strategy used to say, and but we are not actually strictly adhering all, but we should know it whether we are adhering strictly or not, but we should know it. For that we should know what is a parametric test and what is non-parametric test, how they are using it, what are the conditions we require, everything we should know it. And parametric, I told you, very simple. See, we use mean median mode in any test, it becomes parametric. If we are not using it, it becomes non-parametric. Let us see one by one. Parametric is concerned, see, normally involves data. Actually, it is expressed in numbers. Actually, it is expressed in numbers or values rather than even ranks. You can have our own
Excuse me, sir.
examples. Say,
So slides are not moving.
now it's all right, madam.
No, sir, it's still on first slide, that is uses of data in social science research.
The first right slide only, sir.
ஆதில் வர சொல்லுங்களேன், ஒன்ன சொல்லுங்களேன். சீக்கிரம் சீக்கிரம். Adil, please come. Adil வரல.
Sir, you can press the next button from your keyboard, or either from your mouse you can just click on the second slide or third slide accordingly.
It's all right. It's not moving.
Sir, now it is okay, sir. It is moving. Now you are in second slide. Yes.
Okay. Now it's all right.
It is all right now, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
It's
you.
fine now.
Thank you. Say parametric and non-parametric we have, and we are using it both primary data as well as secondary data. And primary data, actually, remember that see, it's a fresh data, and secondary data may not be like this. And I spoke regarding primary data. Now secondary data. Now I speak relating to primary data. Remember in the questionnaire, and we are using both parametric as well as non-parametric test. And parametric test, I told you that when we use mean median mode in any test, it becomes parametric. And if we are not using this, it becomes non-parametric. And here I told you, actually parametric is concerned, it is, we used to have absolute numbers or values rather than ranks. Whereas non-parametric is concerned, whether it is any test as you like, whether it is U-test or Fredman test, or it may be Hutch test, all the tests we are using ranks. Based on the ranks only we are doing it. And here parametric tests are restricted to data that show the normal distribution. This is the conditions you can remember. See, we know that the normal distribution, see, after feeding the data, we should have the bell-shaped curve. See, that is normal distribution. We can say that data are normally distributed like this. We will come to the conclusion. And moreover, independent of one another, because data, it should not be combined. It should be one independent with one another. That is also another condition with regard to this. And the next one, actually the same, even continuous scale of measurement, we can use parametric. See, because we know that actually this one data, we have actually raw data, discrete series and continuous series. Raw data is just number, and discrete series, it is different. We can have both frequency as well as see marks, something like that. And continuous series, we used to have the intervals. See, we can use parametric even for class interval and all. Then meaningful of result of parametric depend on the validity of the assumptions. This is, you can have the significance of parametric test. And it is actually, we can say that is the most powerful tool than non-parametric. Because we can have we can take any kind of decisions and all. That is the things we can remember with regard to parametric test. Non-parametric test may not be like this. It requires less assumption. Data may not be normally distributed. And when we are not able to use parametric test, we can use non-parametric. So that is the conditions we have, and you can remember. And see, I told you, so the non-parametric covers techniques that do not rely on data belonging to any other particular distribution. See, if it is not agree with that, and we can go for non-parametric. And actually, it is rank-based test, and you can remember that it doesn't have any kind of assumption. But there we require a lot of assumption. But non-parametric doesn't require any kind of assumption. But normally people used to say that see, non-parametric is applicable for small sample, but it is not like that. This is theory, but for that I also gave, even we can use non-parametric for large sample also. It is in theory, but people are saying like this, but we can use it. And it is highly friendly, and it doesn't require any kind of assumption. And it is not having, that is the significance of non-parametric. In addition to that, data shows other than normal distribution, and here are dependent or conditions of one another, do not have continuous scale of measurement. See, just opposite to the parametric test. See again, we can have just we will compare and contrast these two concepts. Actually, see, parametric is concerned, make some kind of assumption. It requires some kind of assumption. It is not so here. And see here about the population is completely known by means of parameter, actually parameters, and then statistical test is called parametric test. But here it is not so. Say that is the things you can remember. Even once you know the non-parametric, even we were scholar, we do not know much about non-parametric test. Even we have not heard the concept. Then only actually these concept, statistical department people just see they used it and they gave even for us. We started to use it up. And really, we can say that it is much better tool than it's also a better tool like parametric tools. And say hypothesis is concerned, it is free from parameters. There you have to have the hypothesis, you have to frame like this. That kind of conditions we have in parametric, but practically even there also we are not adhering strictly. But the rule is like this: when it is parametric, we have to strictly have this kind of hypothesis. We have to frame the hypothesis like this. We have to use the word like this. Many things are there, but we are not strictly adhering. Just like that, we are using hypothesis also. And parametric are applicable only to the variables, but here even to attributes. Say like we know even for attributes we know that toughness and blindness. When you have values, when you have number, we can measure it, or any food which we have, even whether it contained the particular protein or nutrient like this. When we have, even for that we can use parametric test, non-parametric test, and even with regard to this, non-parametric, just numbers we have, stocks price we have, and it moves ups and down. And when it moves, when it moves up, it is one run. When it comes down, it is another run. So like this, by using the numbers, also we can use non-parametric. See, actually here you can remember that no parametric test exists for normal scale, nominal scale data. This is, you can remember, nominal scale and ordinal scale, NOIR technique we used to say. And here, see, we can have no parametric test exists for nominal scale. But now this is theory, because for nominal scale, nominal scale numbers, number based. Even for numbers, we can find mean, we can find median, and marks of 10 students. We can find averages. But theory is differ from practice. Any of these are the clue for us, and we can try to remember all these clues they gave. Now we'll have how the data normally, actually for parametric it is a must, and t-test also coming under, actually we can remember that parametric test. And remember this once it is in Professor Guptaji's book that t-test can be used for small sample, and the sample should be less than 30. That was once we have, but we have lot of t-tests now, student t-test, independent t-test, and pair t-test. Like this number of t-tests we have, we started to use, we are not using normal t-test, because when we say normal t-test, the sample should be less, but here it is not like this. And here normality, we have to have the normality, we have to find the normality. Once, suppose if it is primary data based, you can remember that we have to feed it in the computer, and we have to assess the normality. And once we have, we can see data are normal, and we can very well use parametric test. See here we have the histogram, and when you use this diagram, it will be like bell-shaped curve, and even little bit of skews we have, we can use it parametric. For that, the next one you can remember that, see here, normality. It is severely skewed because we have ups and downs. For that, we should not use parametric test. We have to have only the non-parametric test. And other one, you can remember that See, some kind of normality we have. For that, we can use even a parametric test. See, so we can have the curves like this, For that, we can have a normality, actually, parametric test. And this is also here, just like that we have, and the normality is not there. For that, we can use non-parametric. And the next one, you can remember that, see, this is the another, it is in another one, because the data is on other side, for which here we have ups and downs, we have extreme value, we have even ups and downs we have. For that, it is not in bell shaped. For that, we will move on to the other side, that is non-parametric. We can use only non-parametric. And this is the things you can remember. Normal, for that we can have, see this another one, assumption number 4, equal variance, and normal, higher variance is there, but when we here we can have some kind of a normality. For that we can very well use it, but there we have ups and down, but we have a lot of variances. For that we have to go for alternative. Even in the bottom, we gave that if the variance of one group is 3 or more time bigger than other, then perform non-parametric. Because we have the variances like this, and and that is the case, we can have a non-parametric. And now questionnaire, we know that we are preparing, and there I wanted to say one thing regarding that. Even I was examiner for different PhD work. There I found that one thing, because we have actually interval we have to fix properly. Even people are committing mistake on that. Actually, age is concerned, it should be the inclusive case. Up to 25, 25 to 35, 35 to 45, like this you have to fix. But people are actually framing like this, up to 25, then 25, 26 they are fixing. 26 to 35, we should not do like this. That you have to keep something in your mind. We can have exclusive case only for some of the item, not for everyone. For that you have to keep in the mind. Now it is actually data we are feeding it to the computer, and we can assess the reliability and validity. Because once actually there is no reliability, now we have Probon-Salba test. By using that, we can assess the reliability. Yes, here majority of us using that, and the values, actually people used to say that it should be more than 0.6. When the value is more than 0.6, it is good. But if it is more than that, if it is 7, 8, 9, it is very good, we used to say. But even 5% also acceptable level like this, some of the statistician used to say. But let us see that some kind of reliability required. For that, let us have it is more than 6. 5 also acceptable. When you post question to statistician, they will say the same thing. And see, suppose when you wanted to improve it, yesterday I told moderation we used to say, but the questionnaire is concerned, see what we are doing it, because we know that when we are going for reliability test, once the pre-test is over, first we are actually moving for pilot study. Without having the questionnaire, we are moving towards pilot study, and pilot study we are doing it to prepare the questionnaire. And once we actually pilot study helps to prepare the questionnaire. Once we prepare the questionnaire, we are going for pre-test, and the term itself shows the meaning. But many of us they are doing the mistake like that. I can say that it is a kind of mistake, because it is not at all pilot study. It is pre-test. Even in the book we have like this. Many marketing professors they have given the concept, but I am not agreeing with the concept, because it is pre-test. The term itself shows the meaning. Pilot study we are having to prepare the questionnaire. Just like that, we will go. Suppose my work is aligned with HR, I will see the people, I will talk with them, I will share my idea, I will share their idea, I will expect something from them. They will say, after gaining some kind of information, we will prepare the questionnaire. After preparing the questionnaire, we will go for pre-test. This is the things you can remember. Once it is pre-test is over, we can have the assessment. We'll have reliability and validity test. The validity, actually, the questionnaire, if it is reliable, the value should be more than 0.6. It is reliable, then we can proceed. If not, what I gave in the second point, if not, we have to do the same thing, because I have to modify the questionnaire, and again I have to go for data collection. That we will do, or else we will modify the questionnaire and do some more corrections and all. Checking of normality, here the value should be more than 0.05. When the value is more than 0.05, it is normal, and if not, it is not normal. And even by using skewness, we are finding out normality. The skewness value is between actually -3 and +3. The data are normal. It is I read in an article, and you might have come across. See, we can have skewness. The value should be between -3 and +3. If it is the case, we can say that it is normal. Data are normal. These are the conditions. Anyway, we are going to see some of the work which are done by some other researcher, that we are going to see it. But before that, once some years back, we had both calculator value and table value. When the calculator value is within the table value, we will accept it. Accept the null hypothesis. Our teacher taught us that because the value is within the table, like this they used to say. But now it is different. We have probability value, p-value we have for all the things, we have p-value. And by using p-value, we can say that if it is 1% level, this is mistake 0.01. And if it is 5% significant level, it is 0.05. When the value is within this, see, the null hypothesis is accepted. If actually, yes, we will accept the rejected null hypothesis. When the value is within this, we will reject the null hypothesis. That we are finding out. See, actually, earlier, we have calculator value as well as table value. When the calculator value is within the table, we are rejecting the null hypothesis. It means we have some kind of association between the concept. Assume that there is a concept between gender and milk consumption. See, here we have calculator value as well as table value by using chi-square. And suppose when the calculator value is within the table value, we can say that null hypothesis is rejected. It means what? There is some kind of association between that. See, like this, see, we can now here, now we have p-value. By using that, we can have the things, once it is not like earlier days. We have 5% level and 1% level. 1% level, it is 0.01. 5% level, it is 0.05. By using that, even we are ignoring the other value. But even we can interpret here, the mean value is this much, and deviation from the mean, we have this much, and what is the t-value? Finally, we can say about p-values. See, these things you can remember, and followed by that, independent t-test, we have the condition like this. Normally, independent t-test, we require two kind of population like this, male and female. Or like, suppose you remember that I wanted to check it income level as well as other group. You can have two group like this. Above this much of actually above 10,000, below 10,000, or below 10,000, above 10,000. Like this, you can categorize it. We can suppose when we have four interval like up to 10,000, 10,000 to 20,000, 20,000 to 30,000, above 30,000. When they have, but you wanted to use a t-test, independent t-test, you can club it. See, when you club it, you can very well use the independent test, and we have p-value. By using that, you can explain. Here, I told they actually example we gave that there is no significant difference between male and female with regard to work related to role of description. See, this is given as a gender and role of description we have, and we can test it whether we are agreeing this or rejecting this. We can have. And on one way or another, the same thing you can remember that we can very well use for anything, and the concept we have here, role clarity, because we know the work, that is role clarity. With regard to here, age group and role clarity, we know our work, whether is there any significant difference between age group and role clarity, because youngsters may not know much about the work, and even middle age and above the level know much about the work, something like this. Is there any significant difference? We can have ANOVA. See, once we have F value and table value, we used to compare it. Now it is not like that. We have P values. P value alone enough to find a conclusion. And PAT test group, here there are two group, and we are comparing one group with other one group with other group, and we are finding out the solution. And this is also T test. For that we can have P value, and through that we can say whether it is actually viable or not, or whether the null hypothesis is accepted or rejected. And here the condition expertly U test is concerned, we require the same condition. At least two group we require, professional and non-professional, or gender like male and female, or you can have even when we have even like educational qualification, we wanted to use it, and that is the case. See, degree level, above the degree, below the degree level. Here professional, non-professional, like this they splitted, and you can have see anything you can do, but the thing is, the condition is that there should be two groups. When we have two groups, we can have Mann-Whitney U test. For U test, we require two groups. Even it happened, I have come across and I have seen that deposit and advances, they used U test. And how, see, deposit one group and advances other group, this is for secondary data, and how it influence, whether it is right or wrong, you may ask. The thing is, by using the test, they concluded that whether bankers are using the deposit or they are borrowing money from somebody like this, they gave the conclusion. Anyhow, we require two groups. One here with regard to the example I told you, one group it is deposit, another group is actually advances and deposit, and see whether they are lending money by using deposit or they are using their own money. See, like this they gave interpretation. See, deposit and advances, see, when they lend, their own money, it is good, but when they use our own money, because we are depositing, when they are using our own money or their own money, that we can test by using this U test. Especially secondary data also we can make use of this. Anyhow, the condition is that we require two group. Even we can have city and rural, we require two group. And Kruskal Valley is concerned, we require more than two group. Even suppose when the populations like this, rural, urban, semi-urban, and you wanted to test the awareness of the consumers, you can test rural consumers, urban consumer, and semi-urban consumer, something like that. Here what they did, here age group they splitted, see up to 25 to 35 and above 35. And we have P values. By using that, they have come to the conclusion, and actually this is also a right test, and we used to say that it is Hutch test, and actually now once people fail to use this kind of concept, now many are using because it doesn't require any kind of assumption. Just like that we are using it. For that, here Kruskal values, the condition is that we require more than two independent population. See, that is the conditions we can remember. It may be any actually personal data like age or income wise you can have, or education wise you can have, and area of residence and anything you can have, but we require more than two independent population. More than two, not two, maybe 3, 4, 5 you can have. When that is the case, we can use Kruskal Valley test. Now I wanted to say that not like earlier days, now we have book, and when we feed the things in the computer, we are getting results. Only the problem is that we have to check it, whether we can use it or not. But what happened, I am coming across even many things regarding this. People are using gender and a subject variable. and they are using classical values. It is a blunder they are committing, which actually we should not use, because we require more than 2 independent population. When we have more than 2 independent population, we can very well use it, because I told you, it doesn't require any kind of assumptions. Just like that, we can use it. See, only we have to fulfill the condition, like U test 2, here it is 3. And Wilcoxon sign rank test, say this is sign rank, and say remember that difference between the work and work clarity. There is no significant difference here. Mean rank of the work related and the role clarity. And here what we are seeing, we have the ranks, and we are giving ranks, and we are finding out the mean ranks. Visit value, or we are finding it, and finally we are getting p values by using the value whether the null hypothesis is accepted or rejected, and we are coming to the conclusion. Here, what is the conditions, like what I say, U test and H test. U test and H test, we have conditions. Here, actually, like positive and negative, just we have. And we are finding out the mean ranks, not like the earlier one. Here we are finding out the mean ranks of the 2 group. See, that is the conditions we can have. And manually we can work out it. Even it happened some 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4. We worked out all these non-parametric tests manually. We ranked it. Even I am saying about questionnaire alone. We just actually fill the questionnaire and convert that one, and actually it was in number, and we ranked, and we apply the formula, and we got the result. Actually no time, or else I can show even that work which was done by one scholar, but I have done all the work manually. This is Wilcoxon sign rank test. And this is more popular. I don't want to say much, because chi-square is concerned. We know that, sir, it is parametric or non-parametric. You may say that. Statistician used to say that it won't come under this or that. It is, we can say that it is parametric test. We can say that it is non-parametric test. We can say that it is non-parametric test, because we are not using any mean median mode here. Only the thing is, it happened. People question that. Once see, we have computed manually, we find mean, we find standard deviation, mean, because you might have seen here, it is now, yes, here like this, me actually low, medium and high. How it comes, we were scholars, we did low, medium, high like this. Low, medium, we found mean for all the respondent, and we found the standard deviation for all the questionnaires or respondent. Mean plus standard deviation, it is high level respondent, and mean minus standard deviation low. It been in between that, when we have the values, it is coming under, actually it is medium level. See, for that, people used to say that it is parametric test, because there, by using mean plus standard deviation, we are using chi-squared. For that, it is what I say, it is a parametric. But we can use it in both sides, for which it is parametric as well as non-parametric. You can have our own, a lot of example we have, and once this is alone popular, and we have done everything manually. Now it is not so, giving data, and now as usual, like other tests, we have p-value. And this is also one, we used to say that it is a matrix, correlation matrix. The variables are in the top. See here, W, role, performance, and work role. That is, you can remember, and see, we have all that in the top, and G, it is growth, and see all that we have. We have WR, RC we have, and it is PR performance. Let us say the first one, work is concerned with WR, and role they have given us, it is RC. Performance, it is PR, and growth they gave us GO. And how these variables are correlated? This is a matrix, and the first one is concerned this one. Second one is concerned here RC. Here we can have 1, and how this RC is correlated with WR, this much of percentage. And the third one is concerned PR. Here it is one because here we can remember that how these two variables are correlated with PR. And the last one is concerned, we can say that how these three WR and RC is correlated with GO. See, these things we can have. This is we used to say that it is a correlation matrix, and the next one is multiple correlation. Any of let me say a little bit regarding this, because again we are going to see. Here also we have p-value, and we are because of p-value, we are not bothering about the computer value. We are not bothering about even r-squared, t-value, everything we are not bothering. But remember that here actually dependent variable we require, and we have independent value, and how we have relationship we are ascertaining. See, this is the things you can remember, especially with regard to what I say, multiple regression. And especially multiple regression, we know that average relationship between the variable, and with the help of x we can finding out y, and we have one dependent variable and a number of independent value. How the independent value or correlate with the subject variable, that are we are finding out. See, like this you can have. For that we are having the multiple regression. Anyway, again, once again we will see. See, these things we can remember. Normally what we have that time going to see you all. This was popular once. See, we were scholars, we don't know about character ranking. Now it is popular, and all children, all scholars started to use character ranking. How the questions are, how the questionnaire should be. The questionnaire should be rank based. Suppose why do you like the product? This is the question. The responses may be color or shape or quality, or actually we can say like this, price, something like that. And normally we used to give minimum 5 rank, actually 5 responses, and maximum 8, 9 also we can give. We should not give more than that. When you give, it is actually difficult to process to compute it. For that, see, we used to have 4, 5 responses, and earlier we had weighted average. Like this, we will have the values, and here it is, we will give the weight. First rank 5, here it is 6 rank we have, for that we will give weightage. Here it is 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will multiply the value, because here it is 6. 6 into this number we will multiply, and here 5 into this number we will multiply. Like this, all columns we have numbers, will multiply. Finally we will add up all the numbers. You will have the scores divided by number of items we will find, and that is the weighted average we will have, and finally we will rank it. That was the things we did earlier. Now it is character ranking. Now earlier we have done actually weighted averages. Now it is character ranking. It is popular. We know that you people are knowing it. Any of see, all researcher should do this kind of work, because your work is associated with primary data. You can very well use it, because you should ask the respondent to rank it. Here what they gave us, it is see, motivation factors, startup, seafood. Yes, here seafood business. For that, the actually the researcher gave these are the motivational factors like this. They gave here. Remember that motivational factors to start seafood business. See, these are the motivational factors. It may be because of environment. It may be because of government. It may be because of himself. It may be because of the field achievers, if any, and friends and family members. Because these are the responses. And what he did, the researcher asked the respondent to rank it. He ranked it, and he got this in this shape, because the respondent are 200. The thing is, you can remember that when you add this side and this side, you should get the same rank, same here, same number. Respondent, 230, for which when they add column wise, when they add row wise, you should get 230, unless otherwise it is mistake. Then we have formula, because calculation of this actually calculation of carat scores. The carat scores we computed by using the formula. We have formula 100 into Rj minus, we have, by using that we can compute it and we have the values, because this is the formula for that, and we can compute and we have the values, calculated value this much, and this is carat table value. Carat table like ANOVA table and like even ANOVA table and other tables, you know, we have carat table and the values they give, and then we are computing the scores. Yes, based on the formula, we are computing the scores, and this is the carat score. And one more step also we can do by using the number of respondents, we can average it, or straight away we can rank it. See, these are the ways in which he did, and because of himself, he started the business. That is the first factor. Followed by that, it is family members, and followed by that, it is environment. These make him to do the business. And the next, actually, I told you now all the time, once we have not done like this. Now, once pre-test is over, we have to go for a reliability test. I spoke regarding that again. So this is the work which are done by one individual. It is human capital. Actually, his title was Human Capital Initiatives, and these are the human capital he coded. And the human capital or talent capital, intellectual capital, knowledge capital, social capital, leadership capital, psychological and organizational capital. These are the capital he coded, and these are the component he used. And the values, you know, number of items he used, number of questions. See, that is the things he can remember: 15 questions, 13 questions, 16 questions. Like this much of questions he has used. And sample, because it is a pre-test, and he has done 100 respondent for a pre-test, and alpha value he got like this. What we learned earlier in the conditions, when the value is more than 0.6, it is all right, and we can have even more than 0.5 also acceptable. But if it is more than 0.6, it is good. But here the value is more than 0.9. For 0.8 and 9, it is good, and it is highly acceptable. Followed by that is validity. Validity we have even construct validity or composite validity we have, and he found that the value, it is all are much more than 0.9. Values normally people used to say that more than 0.7 is all right, but he has much more. For that, this actually he can proceed further. And now see, we have independent test. What I told you now, we are seeing now. Actually, he has used for 7 capital. For all 7 capital, he used. Condition is that we require 2 group of people, 2 independent population. Let us have the male and female, and whether it is significant or not, he found, and it is at 1% level he found, and it is here. And for that we can accept. So actually, we can have t value, we have mean and the standard deviation, we can have this significance. Here it is significant, because we actually there we used to compare the value, whether it is accepted or rejected, we used to say. Now even here, when the value is within this limit, we are accepting actually it is significant or it is not significant. We are saying it is significant because we have gender and actually these variable are correlated. It has much relation. And next one, you can remember that towards educational qualification, one way ANOVA, the same case educational qualification is concerned, test ANOVA test. You can remember ANOVA test, you know, just like that we can use, and we require say not like any conditions, even for machines we have, machine produced goods, and even the machine production we are using it, and even products we have, which content of the product, you know, we are testing by using ANOVA. Many things we are doing like this here. See, we can have the SCDI with human capital initiatives with educational qualification. The results we have, whether it is influencing or not, significant we have all the values, you know, it is significant. And followed by that, it is sign test. Sign test is concerned, even when you apply blindly, you can apply sign test. But normal condition for sign test even we can use sign test for secondary data. Even what I say, see stock price movement, we can use sign test. But here, when we wanted to use it in the questionnaire, it should be in 3 scale. It should be in 3 scale. But people are using it on other form, and that also acceptable. But you have to have how they are using it. That is very, very important. Here, 3 scale, while we are preparing the questionnaire itself, we can decide that actually what kind of tool we are going to use it. Here, he used 3 scale. For that, we can decide it is sign test. See, very important, and not important. That is the things he can have. And how he used it, see, here the things he can remember. See, actually he ignored the important and yes, here very, very, very important and important he took into consideration, and not important he ignored it. And by using the formula, he got the results, and it is through actually computer he got it. And accepted region. Actually, within the accepted region, we have minus 1.96 to plus 1.696 that are accepted region. And here you can have, it is more than that. For that, it is significant, because accepted region, minus 1.96 and minus plus 1.96. It is between. It should be between that. That is the accepted region we used to say. And with regard to next one, it is Fredman test. Fredman test is concerned. We used to, theoretically, we used to find the significant, actually mean ranks. We will find whether is there any significant difference among the responses of the respondent. Because I am responding, you are also responding. Your views are differ from our. Your views differ from my views. In order to find out that, the Fredman test is used. Remember the same thing. Actually, it is knowledge capital initiatives in IT companies. He has used it, and the mean rank he has, and chi-square value he has, and p-value. See, by using p-value, we are coming to the conclusion whether it is significant or not. And one more Fredman test, actually, we have, it is used by a researcher, and approach urgent financial need of agriculture. For that, here, one agriculturer who needs money, for that, see from whom he is getting money. It is from moneylenders or bankers or friends or see something like that. For that, he gave the responses, and here the variables you can remember that the same thing you can remember. It is Fredman test. Is there any significant difference among the responses of the respondent? My views and your views are differing, or actually not differing. That we are finding out by using Fredman test. The responses they gave us that moneylenders, family friends, community members, and relatives, banks, NGO, government bodies, and private organization. These are the things we can remember. And mean rank, this also we can have manually. We can compute, and we can. These are the mean and see mean rank. Finally, we can have see p-value. By seeing this, we can decide that whether it is significant or not. And the next one, it is one sample t-test. Next one, it is one sample t-test. Theoretically, what we are seeing here also, we have p-value. Here we have p-value. By seeing that whether it is significant or not, we are finding out. But theoretically, what we learned that, is there any significant difference between the mean ranks and population? Actually, not here. Mean population as well as sample population. Is there any significant difference between the mean of the population and mean of the sample that we used to find in one sample t-test. See here we can have population mean as well as mean sample mean. Population mean and sample mean. Is there any significant difference between the two that we are finding out? But the thing is that here we have p-values. By seeing that, we are coming to the conclusion that whether it is significant or not, whether see what I told you, whether the mean population mean influencing the sample mean or not, we can have. And factors affecting the nature of agricultural soil or land. Yeah, you can have one more example here. It is one sample t-test. The same thing we can remember that we found the sample mean as well as population mean, and by using that we used to find is there any significant difference between these two. But here we have p-values. By seeing that, we can come to the conclusion that whether we have influence or not, that we can find. And leadership capital, see chi-squared, it is popular. I don't want to see, this is the concept, and we can have, and actually we have calculated value, table value, actually we are not having. Here we have p-values for which we can come to the conclusion that see whether it is significant or not. And next one, it is psychological capital initiatives in IT companies. Yeah, actually it is Kendall test. The same thing what it is like a Fredman test. Is there any significant difference among the responses of the respondent that we are finding out in Kendall? Kendall coefficient of concordance. Is there any correlation between actually not like the responses of the respondent that we are finding out? Is there any relationship between these responses, between the responses of the respondent? See, that is the things you can remember. And here also we are finding out mean rank and value we have, Kendall W value we have, and finally p value, and you can have whether it is significant or not, we are finding out. Yet it is significant. And again, Kruskal values. Yes, Kruskal value is concerned. What I told you, whether it is there or not, you have to check it. Actually, this is OC, Organizational Capital Initiative, and Kruskal value we are applying. I told you now that we require 3 independent population. Yeah, we have 3 independent population, and we can have, because diploma, UG, PG. Suppose when we have more than that, up to SSLC, HSC, when they have, we have to club it. Or we can have very well use it, because Kruskal value is concerned, we require more than 3 independent, more than 2 independent population. For that, even when we have up to SLC, HSC, plus diploma, UG, PG, you can have. But here the researcher has used 3 scale, diploma, UG, PG, and he found that anything influencing it or not, and finally has given the results by using the p-value, whether it influencing it or not, we can find. Everything is significant. And another one, it is Lemony Test. It's another popular test we have, Lemony Test. Whether it is homogeneous, whether the data are homogeneous, or responses given by the respondent are homogeneous, that we can find it out by using the Lemony test of homogeneity of the variances between the changes in the agriculture, because we have content of water, agriculture water, and major reasons. Yes, here changes in the agriculture and major reasons they gave us: groundwater level, groundwater, here water temperature, nutrition content, and chemical content, a type of smell we have. See, these things you can remember, and the test say the value we have, degrees of freedom this much, and DF2 we have. Finally, we can say that whether it is significant or not. Few are significant and other are not significant, because in between we have nutrition content and chemicals, not significant, and others are significant at 1% or 5% level. Again, the same thing, you can remember that it is see, one way ANOVA we have, it is used for, actually by you can remember that responses respondent opinion towards recent change in the agriculture water. And here you can remember that the same concept and one way ANOVA used, the result we have whether significant or not. Because in the homogeneity we found true or not. Why he has used even again, you may ask, because for the same concept he used again one way ANOVA. The problem is that he wanted to find homogeneity of the data, and it says that there is no homogeneity in two concepts. For that, even whether we have any significant or not, he wanted to know. For that, he used ANOVA, and ANOVA says this is again except one. There it is two. Here the same unity here. This will be the problem, and we are not agreeing with this. Others are agreeing. We have significant. Except the nutrition content. For that, he used another technique. And now you can have it is multiple regression. As usual, we have, but remember, for that I have used all these. Finally, we know that whether it is significant or not by using the p-value. But before that, we should know R and R square value. See here, when we wanted to know the relevance, or when we wanted to know the relationship, or you remember that it is more than 0.8. For that, they have a correlation. They have correlation. See the values they gave in the bottom. Actually, the details they gave in the bottom. And R square value, actually, yesterday we discussed, and it should be more than 0.4. But we have R square value of here nearly 7. For that, it is highly perfect. And adjusted R square we have, that also good. And standard error. The next one you can remember that it is financial constraint and major financial problem of the farmers. Yes, here we have see the values, the result finally they gave. It is actually they have it is significant. They have actually it is significant. And finally, these are the details you can remember. Almost see individually we can see the statement. The statement we have financial constraint and major financial problems. These are the concept and financial problem is dependent, and these are independent variable, and how we have and the result shows like this. Whether it is agreeing and not, even I told even you have to start with R. What is R square? And because R is concerned, everyone knows R should be less than 1. And if it is 0.5, it is good. And if it is more than that, we have moderate or highly correlated, something like that. But the earlier table we have seen that it is 0.8. For that, they have the correlation. And again, R square we found, and here the values we have like this. Remember when it is significant, and what is the beta value you can have? Beta we have, beta is one where actually we are using beta to assess the risk. But here we are using this to have the relationship. To have the relationship, we are getting, we have beta value also. And look it and this is standard coefficient, this is not standard coefficient. Compare this, you can here this is significant, this is significant, this is not significant, this is not significant. Yes, here you can compare this with the beta value, and you can interpret. See, This is you can have it is multiple regression. Multiple regression is concerned. What we learned that we require two variables. One independent variable. Actually, we have a number of independent variable. One subject variable, that is dependent variable. We used to have, and how these independent variable influencing the dependent independent variable influencing the dependent variable, that we used to find. And or we used to say that x on y or y on x, how x influencing y, how y influencing x, see that we are finding out here. This variable, how it influence the dependent variable, that we are finding out. For that we have the values. And the next one you can remember that it is U test. I told you, actually we require here yes, number of farmers, marginal farmers, small farmers, medium farmers, and large farmer. For that I gave, we require only two population. For that just they merged and gave here. See here we have four population, four independent population. For that the marginal and small they added, and medium and large they added, and they gave the results here. See, actually, manually you score, after adding this they gave. For that, because the condition is that we should have two independent population. But here we have more than that. For that, we are merging one with another, like what we learned earlier in chi-squared. When a box contains less than once, see, actually, the box should have more than a digit, more than single digit. We should not have. We should have more than single digit. We should have double digit. The number should be minimum 10. Now people are saying that 5 is enough. When a cell contains 5, that also agree. Like this, people are saying that. See, it's the same condition here. Our condition is that we require only two independent population. For that, we are adding marginal farmers with the small farmers, and medium farmers with the large farmers. We are adding, and we have the values. And finally, we have whether it is significant or not significant. And this is another yes here. KMO, we can remember that yesterday also we spoke regarding that. We have to thank the people, not like earlier days. We started to do everything scientifically. Not only science, even in social science, we started to do scientifically. How you may ask, because for everything we have checkpoint. See, starting with even pre-test we are using the actually checkpoint is that we have reliability. We are finding reliability and validity. Here you wanted to have factor analysis. To have factor analysis, we have to test KMO. When KMO agree, normally we used to have more than 0.5 is all right, 0.6 is good, 0.7 is much more better. So like this here, the KMO value we have 0.7. Actually, it agrees. For that, they proceed further, and they have the values. Yes, here rotated component matrix. We used to say that it is rotated matrix. And the values, related group will combine, and when you see that, and it will be like it will be like steps. So related groups we have, up to this related groups, because the value should be more than 0.5. For that, 1, 2, 3, 4 are related. It will be like first step, and the second one here it starts 1, 2, 3. Yes, up to this 3. These are related. And again, this step here, it is related. 1, 2, yes, just 2 related. And again, we are moving towards here. 1, 2, these 2 are related. And yes, here 2. We are seeing that again, here it is a problem that here the value is here. It is 4.4, here it is 0.2. For that, we should not choose this one. For that, we have to add this concept with this one. Because the bigger number start here. For that, we have to have, instead of keeping here, you have to have this one. The last one, it is, see, this actually 0.74 and this one. Like this, it will be like step ladder. And remember that the last one alone, this is last one alone, this is also another one. See, we are grouping the data and we are reducing the data. Finally, we are giving name for each and every group. This one is concerned, see, they have for these four concept, we are assigning one name. That is the special thing we have. Even once we do not have this kind of facilities, now we started to have all the facilities. It is good also. Just like that, we used only this one. Earlier, we used only rotated matrix. We extended by using commonality. We used, and after that, we have now it is CFA. We have now like this. Even every level we are going ahead.
இப்பதானே அதை கேட்டேன் ஏன் எனக்கு அனுப்பக்கூடாதுன்னு சொன்னேன் இல்ல
Okay, these are the things I wanted to share it. Beyond that, we have even some of the information, but I hope that that may not be sufficient. For that, I stopped. You just try to use because scholars, because people like us, we are as examiner and we are evaluating PhD theses, and what we are expecting, at least whether the candidate has used one multivariate technique. It may be multivariate technique, a lot of multivariate technique. Now, all the people are using the SEM model. You hereafter, you please think beyond that. Beyond that, try to have the model. Once SEM model alone we have, then they started to have even we started to frame model for what I say this review of literature, and now we have three model. All the work, especially our team work, our scholars, when we see, our university people, for concept we have one model, for review of literature we have another model, and for actually this database we have primary data. By using the primary data, they have some model. This is the trend of our scholar, and try to think beyond that and go beyond that and try to make use of it. And see, multivariate technique, this is I told so for FA we have factor analysis, we have before that multiple regression we have, and we have even discriminant analysis, another one. There, suppose when you wanted to test the level of satisfaction, whether the customers are satisfied or not, that you can assess by using discriminant functions. Because satisfaction level is concerned, only two answer. Are you satisfied or not? Satisfied customers and not satisfied customers. We can find it out by using the model, actually discriminant function. And we can grow, actually like here, FA technique we have. Ahead when we move, we have clustering. We are grouping the data again. We have the whole team, we are dividing into cluster 1 or cluster 2. Initial cluster, final cluster we used to have. Initial cluster, initially see the same responses, starting with strongly agree or strongly agree to strongly disagree. Here we have 3 groups. And when we feed the things into the computer, and we can get actually initially we have through 2 group or 3 group. Initially we may have 4 groups, and final groups, and we may have only just 2 groups. So like that, satisfaction level is concerned, we have like satisfied group and not satisfied group. For that we can use clustering, discriminant function. And clustering is concerned, we can group the people, how they are, whether they are agreeing with the first one or agreeing with the second one, because we are dividing. Suppose when it is 2 group, agree group and not agree group or disagree group. In between, no opinion, we will leave it. For that, this group is coming under which, whether it is first strongly agree and agree group or another group. See, that we can find it out by using clustering. See, with this, let me conclude. And I request you all, please try to use multivariate technique.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask one question? Hello.
Say.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Oh, please, sir, please.
Sir, one of your slides, you are showing when known population, we can apply parametric test, and on another side, unknown population, we can go for non-parametric test.
So this is also possible.
Am I right, sir?
Yes, yeah. Non-population we can have because unknown. Practically speaking, even for see non-population we can have parametric test. This is the conditions we have. Unknown population, that we can have even non-parametric test. This is the condition we have. But practically, are we strictly adhering all? We are not adhering. Even I told regarding normality. When data are normal, we can go for parametric side. When it is not normal, we should not use it. But just we are adjusting in such a way that even in the higher level, when we pose question to that, have you tested normality? Yes, I tested normality. Then is it? They are saying when we pose the question like normal or normality, when you have no normality, then how you use this test, they may not be able to agree. Say like this, for a known population, we used to have parametrics. Unknown, we may not. But one thing you can remember that actually correlation is regression is concerned. You may pose a question like this: based on known only, we are finding out unknown. You may ask because correlation is parametric. How do you say like this? You may ask. See, that are some exemption we have, sir. But theoretically, for known population parametric, unknown population non-parametric. This is theory. Practice is differing. Even you can have our own example, regression. X on Y, Y on X. Based on X, we are finding out Y. Y may be not known variable. X known variable. Based on X, we are finding out Y. See, like this, some of the exemption we have, sir.
Sir, my question is, when there is a known population, what type of sampling technique we can use? When it is unknown population, what type of sampling technique we can use?
Okay.
And one more thing, when it is homogeneous, what type of sampling technique is required? And when it is heterogeneous, what type of sampling technique we can employ? Please use some statistical sampling techniques, that is probability and non-probability. Which one is suitable for known sampling population, and which one sampling technique is unknown population, sir?
Oh, sampling side is concerned for known, it is probability sampling. When we know probability sampling is highly possible because we have unknown denote, it is non-probability sampling. For that, we are going for actually convenience sampling and cluster, because this one snowball sampling, because the population unknown and there is no other way, we have to go for even snowball. Like that, when population known population, when population is definite, and we can use probability sampling there. And if it is unknown, we can go for other sample, non-probability sampling.
And for homogeneity and heterogeneity, what type of sampling technique we can use?
Heterogeneity, here we can use both. Actually, even a heterogeneous group may we have, but we can have when population is definite, but it is heterogeneous. We can have probability sampling, sir. And homogeneity, population is the same, and same people, we can have even probability sampling we can have, sir. For these are things you can remember, that if it is definite population, we can have probability sampling. If it is indefinite, we can go for non-probability sampling, sir.
Sir, I think when it is homogeneity, is it necessary of sampling technique?
Homogeneity, sir, homogeneity is there, but when the population is minimum, I hope that you are posing the question like this. Actually, when the population is minimum, we won't go for sample. When we go for sample, homogeneity may be there, but population is large. In that is the case, we can have probability sampling. Suppose assume that we have 5,000 children here. Here children are actually Allahabad University children. We can say that our children are homogeneous in nature because all are PG students. And collecting data from each and every student may not be possible. Though they are homogeneous, we can go for sampling and even we can apply. It is based on the size. When size is minimum, we can have census. When size is large, though we have homogeneity, we can have sample. That too probability sampling.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, this is Miss Suganya, sir. Sir.
Okay.
I have that, sir. I'm doing
Please.
research on women IT employees in and around Chennai city, sir. Only women IT employees.
Okay.
So, what type of sampling method will be adopted for my study, sir?
Please, because the population is different. Just now, sir asked a question, the same thing. Women actually homogeneous people, and you can have definite population. Population is definite. IT employees which we have in Chennai, you decide actually you wanted to collect data from which people. IT employees common. From which people? Whether it is from top level or medium level or lower level, from whom you wanted to collect.
Top level, sir.
Which one, madam? Same. We can go for probability sampling. Because I know probability is concerned, we have simple random followed by systematic. Then we have clustering and stratify random sample. Lot of samples we have. We can have even any sample as you like because population is definite. Though we have homogeneity, because here homogeneity is women. You just decide from whom you wanted to collect, whether it is from the top layer or middle layer or lower level or from the employees who are working in IT companies. That you decide and decide the population. Based on the population, you can say that which is the best.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Sir, when in probability sampling and non-probability sampling, sir, in probability sampling, when we are selecting sample, so we have to follow the computer table, then lottery method, then other two head and tail method. So can we definitely follow these methods, sir, for selection in probability sampling?
Probability sampling, see, you have to actually when you follow it is good. Probability sampling is always best than non-probability. When the population is definite, you please go for probability sampling. If it is not definite, you can go for non-probability sampling. Assess it the size properly. That is very, very essential. Wherever I go, actually, I used to pose question like this: assess the sample and assess the size. Now, earlier it was not like this. Now we have raw software. By using that, you can get the size, and we have even formula. By using the formula, you can fix the size. After fixing the size, you can decide. Even if it is simple random, simple random, we have two methods. One lottery method, other one is random number method. You can choose anyone as you like. Because lottery method is the best, but you should have definite population. Population is definite, and sample, you can write all the names of the population and write in the piece of paper, put it in the box, sampling it, and finally you draw something from them and see your sample size. That up to that you can draw from the box, or fix the table, random number table. Based on that, you can have.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, my name is Srinivas, sir. I'm research scholar at Normality. Central University of Tamil Nadu, sir.
Okay.
My title is Use Pattern of Electronic Resources by Medical Student in Andhra Pradesh, sir. Actually, I selected 3 medical colleges, that is the famous RIMS, Rajiv Gandhi Institute Medical College. Can I take whole population for sampling, sir? Is it possible?
When you go for whole population, it is
Yes, sir.
census. When you do
Yes.
census, there will be a big question that what is that to generalize? For that, always go for sample is the best. Because census is concerned, there is no need to have even the statistical technique. Just like that, percentage analysis is more than enough. Because nothing is that to generalize. You are actually collecting data from each and every individual. For that,
Yes,
nothing
sir.
is to generalize. For that, better you can have sampling. Even in selection of colleges, in Andhra Pradesh, you have number of college and select the college. Then you do according to the things you want. Better you have any sample as you like. Better you have probability sampling. That is always good.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for clarifying my doubt, sir. Thank you
Thank you.
very much.
When you feel that the population is minimum, you
Yes,
extend
sir.
some more college. You just try to choose some more college. When you choose some more college, you can have more population. And when you have more population, it is good to have sample.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your
Thank you.
suggestion, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, parametric test and non-parametric test, at which level we can test the hypothesis in a non-parametric test and in parametric test, best suitable for social sciences.
Sir, I am not getting it, but we can have hypothesis for both. What level you are asking? What level?
What level in social sciences we can test in parametric test, null hypothesis, and non-parametric as well.
Level means what? What level means?
A level of significance, sir.
Here, whatever may be the test you wanted to have, we require one subject variable, another one is actually independent variable. Just we'll compare whether we have correlation or not, whether it influencing it or not. That we are finding out. But some of the technique like see Friedman test is concerned. Actually, one variable we require is there any significant difference among the responses of the respondent? Because assume that we all are respondent, and how my opinion is differ from your opinion, that we are finding out through Friedman test. And others are concerned, as usual, we have two concepts. One may be dependent and other one is independent concept. Just we are how one is influencing on another, that we are finding out.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Sir, it is a simple question, sir. One of my friend asked me.
Okay.
So can we have to take when we are selecting sample? So what number we have to take? Is it odd number or even number? So I suggested that the sample size, we have to go for sample size and everything. So we discussed like that. So now I have an opportunity to ask you. So that I am asking, sir, is the sample number odd number or even number? Is it influence the? Is it any priority for that, sir? Is it influence any statistical things?
May not be like this. Odd number, even number may not be like this. We have fixing sample through Rao's software, Rao's calculator we have. Through that we are fixing it. Normally Rao's calculator is concerned when the population is more, we know that 384 is actually it used to give the size. Or we can use for some using formula. But what scholars are doing, see, according to Rao's calculator, suppose population is 4,000, and according to Rao's calculator, it is 384. And what the scholars are doing, they are fixing the size more than that. And why, when we pose question, in order to have normality, I extend the sample size, because here 384 raw software says, but they are having 400 or 450. When we pose the question, in order to have normality, I added this numbers like this. They are saying it is good. Really, when we extend the sample size, we can have normality. When the sample size is much more, we can have normality. For that, some of the children, some of the scholars, they are having these thousands or something like that, because when we can have normality. In order to have normality, they are having more sample. Even they are fixing more than the actually raw software says, or formula give some number. Even they are going beyond that only because they wanted to have normality. Thank you, but this not a lucky number, add number or even number, that is not in research. It is up to us. Fixation is mandatory, and you have to fix the size properly by try to have raw software, or it may be formula. Earlier there was no formula, nothing. For that, what we did, we were scholars. We actually we were suggested like this: 10% of the population, when the population is definite. Number two, when the population is more, 10% of the population is sufficient. When the population is less, you should have appropriate size. Appropriate size as population. This is advice which were given by our teachers and friends. Now we have formula. Scientifically, we are doing. What you are doing is correct. You are using formula, you are using raw software, and you are doing it everything scientifically. People like us can't pose question, because once we have 10% of the population, now there is no question like that. According to raw software, this is the size. Then according to this formula, this is the size. Even Professor Kothari has given, it is available in all book, you can have. Sir, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Highly interactive session, sir.
Right, sir.
On behalf of the Department of Commerce, I'd like to record my sincere thanks to our Honorable Professor Dr. Rajmohan, sir, for making a highly interactive session, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank our respected participants for your valuable contribution and making this session as a highly interactive session. Thank you, participants. Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much, Professor.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks, sir.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Are you going to send new link for tomorrow class, sir?
Yes, we'll share, madam. We'll share.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Rajmohan, sir.
Oh, madam.
Sir, that structural equation model, SEM. SEM
Okay.
comes under the probability technique or now you are explaining about the testing, no, sir? Two types.
Yeah, madam. Yeah, madam. Very good, madam. Thank you, madam. Actually, it's good. There we are using even non-parametric. We are using mean. We are finding out because correlation regression we have, madam. Then we have ANOVA. For that, it is parametric, madam. Thank you, madam. Thank you.